Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We are so excited today. For one, we have two people on this webinar with myself and Lisa, but even more exciting is that one of them is joining us from Malta, Roseanne, which is even more exciting. So Peter is here from Visit Malta UK and Roseanne also, and she's joining us from Malta. So welcome guys.
Yes, thank you very much for having us. It's really exciting to be here, and I've seen some of your previous videos, and I've got high expectations. I've got standards to live up to now, haven't I? So
yes, well, I wasn't going to mention that. I didn't want to make you too nervous, but you know, our viewers like the videos, and I'm really excited to. Just talking to you then before we're recording it. It's so exciting to hear what you've got to talk about Malta. So I'm going to hand over to you, and we're in your hands.
Oh, right, well, we'll try. So yeah, I just wanted to start by saying a massive thank you to Matt and Lisa for obviously inviting myself and Roseanne along for speaking with you guys today and talking about the wonderful islands of Malta and Gozo. For those that maybe have watched the other videos, you'll now see that there certainly is an amazing array of experiences for all the intrepid travelers that grace our shores. And even for those that haven't, I would encourage you to check out also our families and couples videos that are hosted on the platform here for all the information that are in these presentations. So I'm just going to share my screen with you, if Matt would allow me to share my screen.
That's schoolboy error, sorry.
After 18 months of technology, and we're still getting used to it, isn't it? Here we are. So today we are talking about city breaks within Malta. So Valletta, the capital of this lovely island nation, is an architectural marvel. And for those that stay here, they often come back time and time again, given the abundance of activities, the sights, the sounds, and the tastes that are all found here. And also at the end, I'm going to touch and cover on potentially maybe a little bit of a lesser known city break option. So stay tuned and stay with us. So Valletta has been the capital of the island since around the mid-16th century, when it actually replaced one of the other cities, Medina. Much of this charming city retains its 16th century elegance, so much so that actually in 2018 it was named European City of Culture, and has also enjoyed UNESCO World Heritage status since the 1980s, where it was described as one of the most concentrated historic areas in the world. It boasts over 320 attractions for visitors in an area that is about 1/10 the size of Gibraltar, or to put that into kind of distances, about 0.6 square kilometers. And there's a vast number of reasons that a 3 or 4 day break here will just not be enough to take in all there is that is available. I mean, you know, I could go on for hours about this, but I'm going to try and keep it short and condensed for you today. But all those attractions is one of the main draws that brings people back numerous times. And given Malta's central Mediterranean location between the island of Sicily and the north coast of Africa, Valletta was designated as the sunniest capital city in Europe, boasting over 300 days of sunshine each year, meaning that for those that want to get away from the summer peak season, even spring, autumn, and the winter months are a perfect time to come and discover all that Valletta has to offer. Now, Valletta, I'm going to give you a bit of a history lesson here. Valletta has a fascinating yet turbulent history. In the mid-1500s, Grandmaster Jean Parisot de la Vallette, it's very difficult to say, was worried about further invasions from the Turks and began the task of building a new city. And as such, Valletta was the first planned city in Europe, with buildings tall enough to shade the streets from the hot summer suns, but also straight lanes and streets to allow cooling sea breezes to circulate through the city. And it was all built in a mere 5 years. And Valletta is actually named after La Valette, who was a hero of the Great Siege of 1565, and it was designated the capital of the island. Following 250 years of prosperous and thriving living, the Knights of the Order of St. John were expelled by the French, who imposed many of their customs and traditions that we can still see around the islands today. And so much so that, you know, even the Maltese language has traces of French in it, and the cuisine that can still be found has a French flair in its style and its dishes. And after two short years, the French were actually ousted by the British, who went on to rule for nearly 200 odd years. Here we see a level of influence that's only surpassed by the Knights of St. John. Civic squares were built and building projects were undertaken. However, they still kept within the Baroque style that was established here previously. And all the way through to the Second World War, the city flourished. However, given its key strategic location close to Italy, it actually became a flashpoint of many Axis air raids, causing much destruction in the harbour area and in and around Valletta. So once again, the city was rebuilt in its grandiose style. And to this day, we can even still see the scars of the past, including, for example, and we'll come to it, the Opera House, which now performs as an open air stage, having been left in the destroyed form. And for those that are interested in the military past of Valletta, you can visit the Lascaris War Rooms, you can visit the Grand Master's Palace and Armory, and also Fort St. Elmo with its National War Museum. And just before I move on, I just wanted to add that over the years, the Maltese Islands themselves have had a blended and unique past, with other notable civilizations calling Malta the home, stretching back thousands of years. And this includes the Phoenicians, the Romans, the Turks, the Ottomans, all before the Knights of St. John came in. And all this has led to Malta, and in turn Valletta, become this real melting pot of cultures and a fusion of tastes and sights and flavors. So as mentioned, Valletta boasts over 320 attractions. So in order to cover them all, I would need a complete full couple of hours, but I'll cover off some of the main ones here. So entering Valletta through the new city gate, which was designed in 2013 by famed architect Renzo Piano, who is also known for the Shard in London and also the Pompidou Centre in Paris. The first sights that you will actually see through the main city is the main thoroughfare, Republic Street, with its abundance of shops, cafes, and eateries. Just on the right is the new Parliament building, constructed in such a way that it reduces its energy footprint, given the sustainability focus of the islands of Malta. And then adjacent to that is the Royal Theatre, which Renzo designed in a splendid open air theatre within the ruins of the old Opera House, as we've just discussed. And next up is the wonderful Upper and Lower Baraka Gardens, which it's often one of the first stopping points on any tour of the city. And I think every single one that I've been on, it's literally been the first stop. These manicure gardens are beautifully laid out with fountains and statues dancing in the sun or in the shadows of the archways that line the exterior. And walking out onto the terrace, you are afforded with stunning views. And I mean, they are truly stunning over the harbour and beyond to the three cities, which we'll come to a little bit later on. And be sure to head to the upper gardens around about noon or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, where a cannon is fired as a salute to incoming ships, which is a tradition that dates back to the period of British rule. And no visit to Valletta is complete without seeing the stunning St. John's Co-Cathedral. Named as such due to the fact that there was already a St. John's Cathedral in the city of Medina. The exterior might leave you feeling a little bit jaded and a little bit cheated out of it, but rest assured, as soon as you step inside, it's like entering a brilliant jewelry box. Designed in the 1570s and overhauled by the Knights in the 1600s, it now boasts sumptuous pillars of gold and blue gilding. The roof is reminiscent of the Sistine Chapel in Rome. The floor that's made of marble is inlaid with the tombs of 364 knights, each featuring Latin eulogies. And even more, entering the oratory of St. John, you can marvel upon the magnificent beheading of St. John, Caravaggio's masterpiece of the early 1600s, and it's also the largest and only known signed Caravaggio in the entire world. Perfect for those art lovers. And for those evenings out, you can head to the wonderful Manuel Theatre, home to the Malta Philharmonic Orchestra. And it's one of Europe's oldest and most impressive theatres, originally built in the early 18th century. You've got these two underground reservoirs that perfect the acoustics, which are so precise that actually conductors have to work from the side of the stage to prevent the rustle of turning music sheets being audible in the actual performance itself. And lastly, you can take a trip back in time to the 16th century at the pristine Casa Rockapicola. This privately owned palazzo is owned and operated by a noble Maltese family. Their ancestor was actually one of the general in the Knights of St. John during the 1500s. And it was the first palazzo of Maltese aristocracy to be open to the public. Highlights inside include a collection of local contemporary and historic artwork. There's a World War II shelter that can be found underneath. And for those that love to talk, there's actually a cheeky little parrot called Kiko who will keep you entertained all the way through the day. And maybe just a little top tip there for those that are wanting to maybe explore as many sites as they can. You can actually invest in a museum pass from Heritage Malta. It's 50 euros per adult or 25 euros per child, and it covers admission to over 23 Heritage Malta sites and offers a total discount of over 200 euros. Perfect for covering off many of the sites that are within the city. And Roseanne, I'll invite you in here. What's maybe your must-see sites of Valletta, or which one is maybe your personal favorite? What would you recommend?
So hello to everyone. Ideally, I would suggest that the first stop will be at the Malta experience, so that obviously the people will get to know about the history about Malta, and then obviously after walking out, they can explore the city by walk, and it can be done as well on segways. Okay, so maybe who's here for, as a family and wants to do some entertaining as well with children, the tour can be done on a Segway.
Sounds like a different way of seeing the island, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. St. John's Cathedral is a must, and even Casa Rockapicola is one of my favorite properties in Valletta.
It really is beautiful. It really is. I went on there on my last tour, and it completely blew me away how people used to live in those houses, and just the grandeur of them is absolutely stunning. So as we have already kind of covered off a little bit in some of the other videos as well, Malta has a marvelous burgeoning gastronomy scene, which in Valletta plays its part in this magnificently. It is home to 3 of the 5 Michelin star restaurants that are found on the island, as well as an abundance of street side cafes, relaxed and refined dining options. So as of literally just last month, Eye on the Harbour Club joined Nonny and Undergrain in earning the prestigious Michelin star. Eye on the Harbour Club is located on the top floor of one of the city's hotels, and this restaurant offers unobstructed views out over the harbour, which is perfect for those sunset moments. We then also have Nonny, which is a quirky cellar restaurant that still plays host to its original stonework of the building, which is over 250 years old. And the menu interprets dishes from Malta and the Mediterranean by adding a touch of kind of classic French cuisine. Continuing with the rich history of this venue, Nonny also offers a fine dining experience, and it's set in this really warm and informal atmosphere where great food meets exceptional service. And I've actually been lucky enough to dine in Nonny, and it was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful, and probably one of the best meals I've had on most of my trips to Malta. We've then also got Undergrain. It's another cellar restaurant, and it also pays homage to the tailoring profession, as that's what the unit that it's housed in used to be. So it's a refined experience, and it's actually excellently presented in the service that they provide to their patrons as they absorb the kind of sensations that are instilled into this restaurant. And one cannot visit Malta, and Ro will back me up on this, without trying some of the local delicacies that are synonymous with the islands. Each new season brings with it a fresh array of delight, so be sure to try imare, which is a deep fried date-filled pastries. And you've also got the staple of the Maltese diet, which is the pastizzi. Every single town or city on the island has its own pasticceria, and these are pea or ricotta filled pastries that are perfect for the either on the go snack to boost your energy, or maybe it's a superb accompaniment to the cold drinks on a warm day. And I'll just finish up on this one. On one of the truly charming bars of the city is that of the Bridge Bar. Every single Friday, local jazz musicians turn this laid-back bar into one of the hot spots of the city, and people grab a seat wherever they can to tune into the melodies and the musicians. So you've got the terrace, people relax out on the bridge that the bar is actually named after, and you can even see them sprawling down the stairs all the way down through to the streets, just so that they can get a seat to listen to what's going in. And yeah, I'll invite you back in here, Ro. What's a must try in terms of the food when visiting Malta? I mean, obviously we touched on a couple there, but what are maybe some of your favorites?
So as you rightly said, obviously it's pastizzi is a must, but then I would like to add as well the local ftira, which is our bread. Our bakeries are open from Monday to Sunday, 24/7. So we get fresh bread any time of the day or even evening. Usually this goes down really well with tomatoes, capers, and olives, and even our local chisg beer.
Just see Matt melting in the corner there at the mention of food. He's in heaven there.
Fresh bread 24 hours a day is totally acceptable and something that I'm just so excited about.
Perfect. Well, in terms of accommodation options, so for those that are coming to Valletta, you can be rest assured of a good night's sleep. Not only from the fact that you'll be tired from exploring all day, but the city boasts a wide variety of accommodation options for all ages and demographics. Outside the city gates, you'll find a range of five-star properties, from the small and charming Phoenicia Hotel to the much larger Grand Excelsior Hotel. And then even inside the city walls, you've got a flourishing boutique scene that's paving the way for quality meeting heritage. And this is in the shape of converted palazzos, or converted stately townhouses. These once sort of grand manors are now being used as boutique hotels with small room numbers ranging anywhere from 5 rooms up to 30 rooms, and a luxury range of amenities from rooftop pools to stunning verandas overlooking the city, which we can see in the pictures here, or even in one instance, as you can see, a thermal pool located in a converted well shaft. It's completely unique to the actual city.
And Peter, can I add something else
Of
as well about
course.
the boutique hotels? That you can also hire a private chef, and they can cook for you in the terrace.
Wow.
And that, yes, and obviously this is more romantic or couples trip to Malta, but this can be arranged as well.
Wow.
That sounds amazing. You're having your own, maybe like large terrace out in your room and having a private chef to come in and cook for you. That's just a truly unique experience, isn't it? And I'm just going to finish up here. This is the last bit with looking at an alternative city break, or maybe something away from the hustle and bustle of Valletta. Actually, across the water from the harbour lays the beautifully undiscovered secrets of the area of the 3 cities. The 3 cities are made up of the individual areas of Vittoriosa, Sanglia, and Cospicua. Yeah, Roseanne's probably going to give me some trouble for my pronunciations there. But left largely unvisited, these cities are actually a slice of authentic life, as well as a glimpse into Malta's maritime kind of fortunes. Their harbour inlets have been used since the times of the Phoenicians, and the docks have always provided a living for local people. But they were also the first home of the Knights of St. John as well, before the city of Valletta was actually built. So within here, you'll find palaces, churches, forts, and bastions that are actually far older than Valletta. And there's around about 11,000 people who live here combined, but they are really regaining their past popularity. This revival has obviously attracted tourism, and there's boutique hotels and restaurants and wine bars that are popping up all along the narrow winding streets and the alleys of the 3 cities. And there's also a waterfront project, which includes the magnificently restored fort, which we can see in the middle of the top picture there. You've got your museums in there and a beautiful yacht marina and several places for entertainment and fine dining. And it's become a really great success for the Maltese and for the visitors alike. And maybe one of the most unique ways to see this area is the fun Rolling Geeks tour. These are self-drive electric golf buggies, which take you on a fascinating audio tour of the area, taking in the gracious townhouses and the lovely squares that all make this one of the most Instagrammable areas of the island. And I've been lucky enough to do the Rolling Geeks tour. It is really fun. It's really fascinating. I also nearly crashed it into a parked car, so just don't let me drive if you're ever with me. But it is a really nice way to get out and see the area. And I'm just going to finish up here with a short video highlighting the areas of Valletta and some of her sites to give you a real essence of the city, the culture, and the amazing trip that awaits you. As you can see, I wasn't lying about the bridge bar and them just taking up all the streets and the steps. So, but I'll just finish up by thank you very much for your attention, for listening. And yeah, I think we're just gonna have a quick little discussion of maybe what Matt and Lisa have learned.
Absolutely. Thank you, Peter. That was very interesting. I've certainly learned a lot as well. I have actually been to Malta myself, but the 3 cities, that was really interesting. I didn't know about that at all. Really interesting. So, I mean, Malta, it's obviously we've got our other videos as well, but it's just such a good place for just a city break, and it's not somewhere that people would automatically think of. Having, once our clients have watched this video, though, I think, Matt, we're going to be inundated, aren't we, with clients wanting to go for a city break.
First ones in the queue are you and me, Lisa, I think.
Well, I think we are.
I think I've just had what was so interesting. I've just had a history lesson. I love history, but you know about the island, and we send lots of people there, but not usually for city breaks, and that just proves how incredible that it would be, and like you say, like 3 or 4 days really aren't enough, but just to get a taste and a nice break, it's just looks fantastic.
It's just something that's a little bit different. And I think that's the great thing about Malta as a destination is no matter what you're looking for, whether you're looking for a 3 or 4 night break, and, if you even want to come for those 3, 4 days and relax, you can still do that. You can take in all the sights and the history of the island. We've got the food scene, but even if you did want to extend a bit longer, there's still so much more out and about around the island to get out and explore. And even on your 3, 4 day break, if you did want to get out for the day, you can go up to Medina, the old capital of the day. You can go down to the quaint fishing villages down in the south. With the size of the island, everything's really accessible. And the public transport is absolutely second to none. It's so easy to navigate. Everything's in English because the one of the official languages of Malta is English. So it's, there's no translation issues or anything like that. And you can actually buy an unlimited bus ticket. I think it's about 21 euros for potentially a week, but that can get you out and about as well if you did want to, maybe just have a day away from the city on top of that. So there's just so many options and so many varieties that can really make this a fabulous short breakaway. And it's only 3-hour flight from the UK. So you have people that go to potentially the Canary Islands or, even places like parts of Greece for a long weekend. Malta's actually closer than those destinations as well.
And also as well, like you pointed out, it's year-round destination as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the spring and autumns, we're still into the 20s in terms of weather. On a bad day, you might be dipping into your teens. We've got the really hot summers as well. So you're talking, 30s and mid 30s. But even in the winter months, during the day, you're probably talking again around your mid-teens, so you can still get out and about and enjoy yourself. It's really nice. Maybe a little bit of a breeze in there, but it's nice for when you're actually out and about and not getting too hot. And then even in the evening, you can just put on a little jumper, and it's still in really warm weathers that you can still sit out in the evening and enjoy that cafe culture and enjoy walks around the streets. And sometimes they're candlelit. And in terms of some of the festivals that go on with it being a religious island during those winter months, you can really enjoy what's going on in the area.
And also as well, Peter, which one thing that you haven't covered, but I do know, it's for such a great age range of people as well, isn't it? I think, Malta, sometimes it was considered as being just a destination for older people to go to, but it's definitely sort of, couples. I know we're going to cover some other videos with you as well, but it is just such a vast age range. It's for everybody, isn't it?
If I may add, these last 15 years, Malta was placed on the map for organizing festivals for younger generation. One of them is the Island of MTV, which Malta hosted for the last 15 years. Unfortunately, last year it had to be cancelled because of COVID, but we're hoping and looking forward to organize more of these kind of festivals here in Malta. So it's not just for old people, it's a mix for everyone. I mean, if you want to enjoy the sun and the beach, that is okay. But then it's history, gastronomy, relaxation, spas, hotels. So you have it all.
Something for everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, with some of the trips that I've done in my previous roles where I've actually taken agents out to the islands, a lot of the kind of stigma has been exactly that. They're like, oh, we're going to go out and it's just for old people. And my great auntie goes out there and she brings her favorite rug when she stays for 3 months because she likes to feel at home and stuff. But every single trip that I've been on, when we've come back, people have either booked with their families or they've booked city breaks with their friends or potentially their partners as well. And every single trip, I always get them on the plane coming home being like, that completely blew my mind. I did not think Malta was like that in any way, shape, or form. And it, that ranges from the 18 and 19-year-olds that I've had on the trip to the mums and dads who are in the 30s and 40s, and even into your 50s and 60s. It's always the same. It's always positive feedback, no matter what the age range is.
I totally agree with you there, Peter. Matt, have you got anything to add?
No, I just want to say thank you.
He's still thinking
See you
about
in Malta.
You're still thinking about the bread and the food, aren't you?
Food? Yes.
Brilliant. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. I believe we're going to be doing some more recordings with you both as well on other parts of the island. So I'm sure our clients are going to love to watch those as well. And I really do think that myself and Matt are going to be inundated with inquiries over to your beautiful island of Malta. So we will look forward to getting our clients across to you.
Perfect.
Thanks very much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
As you know, we've got other recordings on our channel, so please have a look at those as well. And myself and Matt will look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.